we know Boris Johnson in the past has stumbled somewhat on these reopening plans, rather over promising and under delivering. How different is it going to be this time round, and what does that mean for the pace of reopening, do you think?
Well, of course, we don't know yet whether the road is going to be as bumpy as it was last year. It seems that the UK government, Boris Johnson, has really got its act together during this vaccination campaign, much better than last year. But of course, the easing plan is going to be very gradual, as Matt Hancock alluded to. So this could take a couple of months. And basically the rest of the world is looking at the UK, especially continental Europe and the US, how the UK is grappling with its easing roadmap, given that it has been so advanced in its vaccination campaign. I think there are a number of issues why the UK should do relatively well over the next couple of months, given that they've brought down infections so significantly, given that the test intensity is still so high, the share of positive rates have come down, and we hear more and more news about how actually effective these vaccinations are. But of course, it's going to take a couple of months really to get slightly more to levels of normality.
Obviously, you pointed to the lead that the UK has in vaccinations. Largely that was due to very swift approval of vaccines that we saw the EMA take a lot longer to give sign-off on. But now that the programmes have started, how can France, Germany, Italy, Spain, how can they explain the relatively slow pace in some of these countries of getting the vaccination programs up and running?
Well, they are facing some difficulties in explaining why they've taken significantly longer than the UK or the US with approving the vaccines, then obviously having different terms under which they agreed with pharma companies about the delivery of vaccinations. So what we've seen is actually that this rally round effect last year, when approval ratings for Angela Merkel or her CDU center right in Germany, or for Emmanuel Macron in France, that they actually rose in last year. They've fallen this year. So especially this the difficulty or the lag of the vaccination campaign in continental Europe relative to the UK is causing some issues for these countries. Having said that, I think if we move forward over the next couple of months and we are kind of passing the worst point of those supply issues in continental Europe, so these vaccination campaigns are not just progressing but actually accelerating, the lag of continental Europe relative to the UK may look like a month or 2 months, which still means they will have a lot of stuff to explain. But in autumn this year, the difference may be much smaller than the perception that is currently obviously grappling continental Europe, looking over to the UK, where vaccination rates are significantly higher.